Massachusetts reserves. The gentlewoman from Minnesota is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just, as we hear so much about this wonderful bipartisan history of this debt ceiling, I just want to point out that the last 5 times Republicans controlled the House, Senate, and the White House, the current Speaker and the entire current Democratic leadership only voted to raise the debt limit one time. So I wish that we would make sure that we point out the accurate history of how this has happened. But with that, Mr. Speaker, I would like to yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from Missouri.
The gentleman from Missouri is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the lady from Minnesota for yielding and for pointing out the truth. You know, I am glad that I decided to wear my boots today, because it's getting deep in the swamp up here today, listening to the garbage on the other side of the aisle. Let's put it this way. The Democrats have already pushed through $2 trillion of reckless, wasteful spending at the expense of working-class Americans. And now they're wanting to push through another $4.3 trillion reckless spending bill that will reward their political friends, their wealthy donors, and their allies at the expense of working-class Americans. Well, let me tell you, the ranking budget chairman said we should increase the debt limit a gazillion dollars. A gazillion. We have folks on the other side of the aisle just in the last 30 minutes that have said we should not have a debt limit. This is the Democrat Party. They do not believe there should be no limit in debt. They've said this on the floor, but that is not what the American people want. If you want to raise the debt $480 billion until December, guess what? Listen to the White House. Just last week, the White House said there's $480 billion of unobligated funds from your Biden bailout bill from March. Use that. But no, you want to continue to take more money from working class Americans by putting in debt their kids and grandkids. But of course, on the other side of the aisle, they'll tell you, oh, we'll never pay back the debt. That is what comes from the other side of the aisle. Folks, we have so many crises right now, a border crisis, an Afghanistan crisis, an inflation crisis, an energy crisis, all at the result of Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. And now they're trying to increase the debt $480 billion more dollars that will fuel those crises. The American people's had enough. I yield back.
Gentleman yields. The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And you wonder why people hate Congress. I mean, we have somebody on the Budget Committee who's trying to make us believe that, in fact, that raising the debt limit somehow controls spending. The bottom line is the debt limit is about paying the bills that have already been accumulated, including many of the bills that my friend who just spoke voted to accumulate, including a tax cut bill that benefited the well-off and the well-connected. I now yield 3 minutes to the